In this video, I'm going to be sharing my top 5 crypto wallets, including sharing the wallet that I think is the single best wallet, hands down, out there, head and shoulders above the rest, and it's not MetaMask. I'm also going to be sharing my top hardware wallet picks as well. If you're not using a hardware wallet, you're massively putting your assets and your money at risk, especially if you have more than $1,000 in crypto invested. Anyways, really briefly, what is a crypto wallet? Most people genuinely don't understand how crypto wallets actually work, but it's kind of super important. Lots of people think that crypto wallets are kind of like an exchange account and that they can just use their password and their email and log into their wallet and get access to it from any device that they own. Wallets, however, are self-custodial. They are not just some account that you can log into. So if you have your crypto wallet on your phone and you don't have your backup seed saved somewhere, and you were to lose your phone or your phone were to die for some reason, you would lose access to 100% of your funds stored on your crypto wallet on your phone. And there would be no way for you to recover those funds. You cannot just call up MetaMask or call up the wallet provider and be like, oh, I lost access to my funds. Here's my email. Can I recover that? It doesn't work like that. There is no way on earth to possibly recover those funds, period. That's a pretty important detail that far too many people do not understand. Your wallet is like your personal signature. It identifies you as the entity that controls the address that holds your crypto assets. Contrary to popular belief, your crypto wallet doesn't actually hold any crypto inside of it. That is, there are no like bytes of code that represent your individual cryptos or NFTs that are stored directly on your computer or phone or whatever. Instead, tokens and NFTs are always stored on chain. They're always on the blockchain. Your wallet is just a way to identify you as the person who controls those assets on the blockchain. So if you lose your device, you lose your phone, or like your desktop computer spontaneously catches fire, and you have your seed phrase written down and stored somewhere safe, you can take those 12 or 24 words in your seed phrase, input them into a new wallet on a new device or a new computer, a new phone, and it'll load your wallet on that new device and all your assets will still be there. Which means if you were to memorize your seed phrase, you could technically carry your entire crypto net worth in your head. Okay, so now that we understand how crypto wallets work, let's go through my top 5 favorite crypto wallet. Number 1 is MetaMask. MetaMask is the most widely used crypto wallet out there. It has both a browser extension and a mobile wallet app. And I personally just use the MetaMask browser extension. I don't use their mobile wallet, and I have kind of a love-hate relationship with MetaMask. I have used MetaMask for years. It has been my go-to crypto wallet for a long time, and there are certainly things I enjoy about it. However, my biggest complaint about MetaMask is despite them being the largest wallet on the planet, despite them having the most adoption on the planet, it feels like to me they have done very little in terms of innovation and actually making the wallet more useful and secure for the average person. Here's exactly what I mean. Most crypto exploits for the average person are because they signed some sort of malicious transaction. A transaction that if it were put into human readable terms, if they could understand what that transaction was doing, when looking at the transaction, no person in their right mind would approve. The problem is MetaMask doesn't bother to do that or have any sort of warnings or have any sort of security features baked into the wallet. And to me, that's just lazy. These are features that in my opinion, MetaMask should have added a long time ago. I will give them this though. They recently introduced something called MetaMask Snaps, which allows essentially anyone to build plugins for the MetaMask wallet that can give you a range of different features and useful things that MetaMask themselves haven't built into the wallet. Think of it how like the Chrome browser allows you to get Chrome plugins that augment the browser to do different things that the original browser couldn't do. And there are quite a few different MetaMask snaps that add a slew of different safety features to the MetaMask wallet. So you can get some pretty interesting and neat features for the MetaMask wallet if you install that, the right snap. Still, the way that MetaMask works right now, I'm betting that the average person who's brand new to crypto doesn't end up doing that. They probably don't even know MetaMask snaps exist. And I truly believe that these sort of safety features should be default for every single crypto wallet out there. They should be table stakes because making scams harder makes less scams happen. And less scams happening means less money for scammers. And less money for scammers means less scammers with less resources. So even a small elimination of surface area for scams can have a dramatic impact on the amount of scams out there. Some of the features of MetaMask are you can buy crypto directly from the MetaMask wallet without ever having to go to an exchange. So you can use a credit card and buy crypto directly in the wallet. You can swap crypto in the wallet sort of. When you click the swap button on the MetaMask wallet, it's going to open up a browser window, and in that window, you can swap crypto directly from your wallet. In my opinion, this experience is kind of slow and clunky, and I almost hardly ever use it. You can bridge funds using your wallet, but again, not better in my opinion than other options, as it's pretty clunky. And again, this is a feature that I never use personally. You're able to view your NFTs in your wallet, and if you click portfolio, it'll load a web page showing you all your assets on that address across various networks, which is useful. Overall, MetaMask is the OG default wallet that most people end up using. It does the job, but in my opinion, there are much better wallets out there. Wallet number 2 is the Coinbase wallet. So this can be kind of confusing for some people, as there is Coinbase, the centralized exchange, and there is Coinbase, the self-custody wallet. When you're using the Coinbase exchange, they are custodying the assets for you. When you're using the Coinbase wallet, you're self-custodying your own funds. And right now, we're talking about the Coinbase wallet. The Coinbase wallet has a really sleek, nice to look at design and is really easy to set up. It's really meant to be like the perfect companion for users of the Coinbase exchange, as it links up with your Coinbase account really well, although you don't have to use Coinbase to use this wallet. A really great feature is it allows you to link your Coinbase account directly to your wallet and transfer funds over really easily. It has the staples like allowing you to buy via the wallet, allowing you to swap via the wallet, and allowing you to bridge via the wallet. However, for Coinbase wallet, the UI for these things, in my opinion, is much better, and it's a much smoother experience. Just like MetaMask, it allows you to see your NFTs via the wallet, and as a unique feature, it has Matic and ETH staking built in as features in the wallet, which is something I don't think I'd ever personally use, but I think for some people who maybe don't understand how to do that themselves, maybe that's a useful feature. The Explore section is unique to Coinbase wallet, and it allows you to easily browse top movers for the day, build a watch list, and more things. It's actually a pretty neat and useful feature. It has a community tab where you can follow other wallet addresses. The transactions don't have as many security features as I'd prefer, but they do simulate how your assets will change based on the transaction, which is a handy feature. My number one complaint with Coinbase wallet is probably that you can't currently use a hardware wallet with it outside of a Ledger wallet. And although I have and use a Ledger wallet, it's not my go-to hardware wallet, so I don't ever end up using Coinbase wallet myself. Still, if you have a Ledger or, don't use a hardware wallet, I definitely think that Coinbase is a decent pick for a wallet, although I think it personally falls short compared to my number one pick, which is coming up. Number 3 is Rainbow Wallet. Rainbow Wallet is a really beautifully designed and simple wallet. It's very comparable to Coinbase wallet with the added bonus of being able to connect with both Ledger and Trezor hardware wallets. They make it really easy for you to onboard crypto via Coinbase, similar to the Coinbase wallet. And they have all the mainstay features, such as being able to swap, buy crypto directly from the wallet, and see your NFTs. They don't have a bridging function like Coinbase and MetaMask, but that doesn't really matter, as I've never used the built-in bridging function ever myself. They make the transactions somewhat easier to read than MetaMask, but not quite as useful as Coinbase wallet. Number 4 is Phantom. Phantom is a wallet that's well known in the Solana ecosystem and recently branched out to the ETH ecosystem as well. Branding and just kind of like look-wise, Phantom, Coinbase, and Rainbow are head and shoulders above the rest. I specifically really love the little ghost on the Phantom wallet that wakes up when you start to type in your password. But of course, we don't just use wallets because they have nice branding. Phantom, again, like the other wallets, has all the mainstay table stakes features, such as a built-in swap function, the ability to view your NFTs in wallet, the ability to buy crypto in wallet with a credit card, and even has neat, easy to understand transactions similar to Coinbase wallet. I also just love how simple the wallet interface is. A few areas where it's lacking, in my opinion, is similar to Coinbase wallet. It only allows you to use a Ledger hardware wallet. There's no built-in bridging function, which again, I don't really care about myself. And the wallet's simplicity, while a perk as mentioned, is also a bit frustrating at times when you want more advanced features. Phantom's a pretty cool wallet, and I'd love to see them improve their experience, and ideally wallets like Phantom, Coinbase wallet, and Rainbow maybe add their own versions of MetaMask snaps, or just expand out a bit to support more useful features while balancing simplicity and user experience. Okay, so that just leaves my all-time favorite wallet, which the first time I used this wallet, it was like jumping years into the future. In fact, in my opinion, this wallet is so advanced and has so many more useful features, it's kind of embarrassing when I go use the other wallets how far behind they are. And before somebody comments something stupid like sponsored or, like you got paid to say those things, none of these wallets sponsored me, and I have no relationships with any of these different companies. And in general, I have never received a dime from any of these wallets that I'm talking about. The closest thing that I would have to a conflict of interest would be in the hardware wallet section, description. 2 of those hardware wallets I have affiliate links for. One of them I don't even have up anymore, but the other one is currently up under the description of my video. So when I talk about this wallet, it is not sponsored. I just genuinely really enjoy the user experience of this wallet. And I want to support builders in this space that are doing good work. And I believe helping the entire space grow by making it easier for the average person to get into crypto and stay safe. Wallet number 5 is the Rabby wallet. And after getting recommended it by a guy named Scott from the Obsidian Council, it quickly became my number 1 go-to wallet. And the reason I love this wallet more than any other wallet out there is a couple different reasons. First off, unlike any of the other wallets, including MetaMask Portfolio, Rabby shows your entire portfolio automatically built into the wallet directly. It shows every asset you hold, but unlike MetaMask portfolios, it also shows every asset you have locked, staked, yield farming, etc. The normal wallet interface on MetaMask only shows you the assets you have on whatever chain you have it set to. Where with Rabby, when you open your wallet, it's just automatically showing you all of your assets that you hold on that address across every chain, including, again, all of the assets you have staked, you have locked, you have yield farming, etc. Second, with Rabby, I never have to add in chains manually, and I never have to switch chains when I'm using a different dApp. Rabby just intuitively switches to whatever chain's needed for whatever app I'm interacting with. It's pretty awesome, and although seemingly small, it really makes the user experience significantly better. And there are so many little things like that built into the wallet that make things easy and are intuitive. For example, the Rabby wallet also, like all of the other wallets, has a built-in swap feature. But with MetaMask, I never used the built-in swap feature because it was clunky. Again, also, it makes you load up a different page in your web browser to go do it. With Rabby, however, I always use the swap feature, and I hardly ever go directly to Uniswap or something like that. That's because the built-in swap is just super easy. It aggregates prices from multiple aggregators, showing you exactly where it's sourcing the swap from, and simulates the gas cost and about how much you're going to receive, including the dollar amount in US dollars versus, just the asset you're receiving. And as a safety feature, when you go to select an aggregator, it makes you enable that aggregator first, so you don't accidentally use one that's potentially risky. It has a built-in widget that shows you the current GUI fee, so you can trade when gas fees are low. There's an approvals button that allows you to check which apps you've given approvals to, and revoke any that maybe you've unknowingly given full access to your funds. It has an instant gas top-up feature where you can use the tokens you have in your wallet to top up gas on any chain. This is really useful when somebody sends you funds on a chain you don't have any gas tokens on. Well, you can use this gas top-up feature to exchange some of those tokens for the gas token, then send those funds wherever you want to send them. But the real magic is in how they do transactions. When you go to connect with a dApp for the first time, it'll show you the site popularity, any marks you've made, and who the site is listed by. It'll also give you a warning if it identifies any sort of security issues that it deems risky. And you won't be able to proceed forward with the transaction without first excusing that warning. And this makes it far easier to catch when you're connecting to a fraudulent app. Imagine you thought you were connecting to Uniswap and a new pop-up came up in your Rabby wallet, and it showed that the site's popularity was really low and it gave you a warning. That would be a massive red flag showing you to double check the address that you're visiting because it's probably a fraudulent link. They also make transactions dead simple to read, showing you what you'll pay and what you'll receive, and simulating the transaction similar to Coinbase and Phantom. They also allow you to select the gas speed really easily. This is a feature you can get in MetaMask, but it's kind of buried under a menu. And they give you information on the specific contract you're interacting with. You can see the protocol name, if you've ever interacted with that contract before, how long ago this specific contract was deployed, its popularity, and it allows you to make your own notes and mark. And if Rabby detects any possible security issues, it's going to flag that site with either a red flag or a yellow flag. And it's going to clearly explain why it was flagged if you click on it. And again, it's not going to let you move forward with the transaction without first making you click on that flag and making you read through why it flagged it and approve the transaction regardless. I've had it flag sites that were just smaller sites with lower popularity that I'd never personally interacted with before. Other times it'd flag things that it deemed possible security issues that could cause me to lose my funds. And the reason I love this feature is it makes it far less likely that somebody is going to get exploited and lose all their funds. At least it makes it much more difficult as you have to overcome multiple security warnings in order to get exploited in most situations. It also doesn't let you send funds to any address you haven't whitelisted without first entering your password, making sure you don't accidentally send funds to the wrong address. On top of all that, it not only supports Trezor and Ledger, but it also supports a wide range of different hardware wallets that you can use with the wallet. Okay, so that's what Rabby does better than all the other wallets, and in my opinion, those features are enough to make it my main wallet that I use all the time. However, there are a few areas that other wallets have a slight edge. For one, I think that Phantom makes viewing NFTs the best experience possible out of all the different wallets. But in reality, it's only slightly better, and it's certainly not a reason that I would would choose the Phantom wallet over another wallet. Also, Rabby doesn't have the ability to buy crypto using a credit card directly in the wallet. This is surprising considering every other wallet has this feature. Okay, so let's get down to ranking. In my opinion, the number one best wallet overall would be the Rabby wallet, obviously. My number two pick would be the Coinbase wallet. Number three would be the Phantom wallet. Number four would be MetaMask. And number five would be Rainbow wallet. I'll add that this is me rating MetaMask on only its out-of-the-box features. If I was instead rating MetaMask based on the custom different snaps that I could add to MetaMask to make it more effective, I would put it in the number two slot. And I'll further add that I do think that over time, those snaps will probably become more and more useful. They'll get a library of better and better snaps, and it could eventually push MetaMask all the way up into my number one spot. Okay, so earlier I mentioned hardware wallets and why I'd personally never buy crypto and self-custody it without a hardware wallet. Hardware wallets are, in my opinion, essential if you have more than $1,000 invested into crypto. They are an extra layer of security purpose-built to keep your crypto assets safe. With a browser wallet alone, or maybe you keep your wallet on your phone, your private keys are stored on that device, and that device is always online. So theoretically, it's possible that somebody could compromise those private keys and access your funds. Although in most cases, that's probably unlikely. With a hardware wallet, your private keys are kept in cold storage and can only be used and accessed when you're physically holding the device, have it plugged into a computer, and you're doing something. Your funds can't be sent, withdrawn, or stolen when your hardware wallet isn't physically plugged into your computer. And your hardware wallet, unlike your computer, is purpose-built to protect your crypto assets. Point being, it's an added layer of protection that costs less than $100. And I'm sure it could have stopped countless exploits that have happened that have cost people thousands to millions of dollars. In the wild west of crypto, only the paranoid survive. And it pays to be safe rather than sorry. With that being said, so what are my top picks for crypto hardware wallets? Well, I currently have three that I use, and those are really the only three that I can judge anything on because I haven't used a lot of the other ones out there. I have first off a Ledger X, which is really useful if you're interacting with any non-EVM chains. This means things like Solana, Cosmos, Akash, etc. And I use my Ledger when I'm ever self-custodying assets on any of those different chains. And as far as the experience of using a Ledger, my Ledger works great. I think some of the drama that Ledger recently went through was a little bit overblown. I personally never had any issues with my Ledger, and they've been around for a long time. But they're not my number one choice. My favorite hardware wallet is my Trezor Model T. And while my Ledger can be used for anything really, it can be used for EVM chains, non-EVM chains, it can be used for Bitcoin. My Trezor can just primarily be used for EVM chains and Bitcoin. So that'd be things like Ethereum, Base, Avalanche, Optimism, ZK Sync, Polygon, BNB chain, and a ton more. Again, with just the Ledger, you really are set up for anything out there. So like buying a Ledger, you would be set up to interact with pretty much any chain out there. And I really love my Trezor because it's super simple and I've never had any issues with it. I have been annoyed at times using my Ledger, trying to connect it to my computer, or trying to, connect it to my MetaMask, and it's having issues and it won't connect. And with the Ledger, you got to go to Ledger Manager and you got to install these different apps for different chains. You got to update them constantly, and you got to always select on the device the right app for the right chain that you're interacting with. And my Trezor, by contrast, just works. I enter my password and then I approve my transaction, and that's it. And it's worth noting, if you don't understand how hardware wallets work, they interface with your wallet on your desktop. So like if I'm using MetaMask, I'll use my hardware wallet using MetaMask. Or if I'm using Rabby, I'll use my hardware wallet using Rabby. So like you just load up your address from your hardware wallet instead of loading it directly on your computer. The big difference is you're using your private key stored on your hardware wallet versus using the private keys stored on your computer or your phone or whatever. So when I go to do a transaction on my MetaMask or Rabby, I gotta plug in my hardware wallet, I gotta enter my password, and then I gotta approve that transaction physically using my hardware wallet versus clicking a button on my computer. I mentioned I have an affiliate link for my Trezor in the description below if you wanna check it out. And the last hardware wallet that I use is my Tangg wallet. This one is a newer hardware wallet that I'm testing out. In full disclosure, I met this random guy at a conference. He was at the Tangg booth. He recognized who I was, and he offered me this hardware wallet for free. They're basically like little credit cards that you tap on the back of your phone to access your wallet and funds mobilely wherever you go. I really like the idea because it's really useful. I don't carry my hardware wallets everywhere I go, and it'd be nice to be able to do that. So this is like a credit card that goes in my wallet. When I need to access my funds, I pull it out, I tap it on my phone, I enter my password, and boom, I can access my funds on my phone. However, I really haven't used it that much. It does seem a little bit less secure than something like Trezor or Ledger from my first take. Maybe that's just me Maybe it's just because it's newer and I don't trust it yet. But being that I haven't really used it a ton, I don't have a deep opinion of it. I just think it's a really neat concept of having, again, like a credit card like Hardware Wallet that you can take everywhere you go and constantly use your funds. Another reason though I don't really use it a lot is I don't really use mobile wallets a lot. And the biggest reason I don't use mobile wallets is because I'm paranoid, and again, only the paranoid survive. An alarming number of exploits, or like when people like lose all their funds, seems to happen when they have all their funds stored on their mobile wallet on their phone. So I prefer to just be like super extra safe and skip mobile wallets altogether. As always, if you have any questions or comments, or I missed a wallet that's one of your favorite wallets, let me know in the comments below. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it to be notified each time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.